Cyber warfare is a politically motivated technique used to attack enemies' information and access their systems. This process is done via internet to disable, steal, or alert the enemy's financial and organizational services, networks, or websites. In this video, we will be talking about the cyber attacks and the related issues of cyber warfare by a group of Chinese hackers on Indonesian governmental websites. This group of Chinese is called Red Hacker Alliance. China is known by their sophisticated system of hacking, as it is nearly impossible to know whether or not an attack is government-sponsored because of the difficulty in tracking true identities in cyberspace. Many security firms found that China has a number of cyber espionage too.
Red hackers, who are they?
The Red Hacker Alliance is a group of devoted young Chinese hackers that was formed to respond to any sort of attacks against the People's Republic of China. They are one of the largest hacking groups in the world, where they had over 80,000 members of Chinese hackers.
And when did they form?
They first came to existence in 1998 when there was an anti-Chinese protest in Indonesia, and the alliance was formed. Later on, they attacked Indonesian government websites, but they were not known as the Red Hackers. They were known as the Chinese Hacker Emergency Meeting Center. Then, after that, they were officially known as Red Hackers Alliance after the NATO jet and the Chinese embassy incident in 1999. The second day after the bombing incident, their first official website appeared. There was an expansion of the Red Hacker Alliance from 1999 till 2005. Where other hackers have joined, like the Honker Union of China, the Revolution of China Wall to China Eagle, the Java Phil, and the ultra-right-wing Chinese hacker opposed to the Japanese alliance. The more hackers that joined the Red Hacker Alliance, the more number of attacks increased along the way. With the publicity of the group, that increased the number of people that wanted to join. However, there is no information or data that suggests that there was a count performed by the Red Hacker Alliance on the structure of their group, nor about their actual numbers.
Dillon and Macklin IS success model is an information system theory which seeks to provide a comprehensive understanding of IS success by identifying, describing, and explaining the relationships among 6 of the most critical dimensions of success along which information systems are commonly evaluated. The IS success model identifies and describes the relationships among 6 critical dimensions of IS success: information quality, system quality, service quality, system use or usage intentions, user satisfaction, and net system benefits.
In terms of system quality, the system used by the Red Alliance hackers was one of great sophistication. They were able to disrupt and cause damage to Indonesian government sites without much difficulty. They were also able to strike in different times and for long hours at a time. This means that the quality of the IT hacking system that the Chinese were using was high, since they were able to invade a classified and protected government system. As more hackers joined the alliance, the organization amounted to nearly 80,000 hackers, further increasing the system quality. The system was able to use DDoS, or denial of service attacks, to take down government systems, as well as web defacement, changing the content of government websites for their users. One common quality to consider when analyzing information system is information quality. Defined by DeLone and McLean, this dimension looks at the quality of the content that an information system delivers, provides, or stores, and its value to its users. Before 1998, there was actually no unified body of the Red Hacker Alliance in China. The coordinated attack on Indonesia actually banded together independent hacker websites, creating a stronger, unified body. This event increased information quality, as the Alliance now had more information within their system. In the attack itself, the Alliance hacked Indonesian government websites, allowing the Chinese hackers access to highly sensitive information, which they were able to control, further increasing their information quality. In terms of service quality, the hacking systems were highly responsive, as the Red Alliance were able to quickly attack and block websites of the Indonesian government. The service proved to be highly scalable, as the alliance of hacking websites would grow from 7 hacker sites in 1997 to 250 in 2005. This size allowed them to hack higher profile systems such as the Japanese and American governments and even CNN.com. Finally, Empathy was key in service quality, as the hacking sites claimed to give Chinese protesters the voice they always were looking for.
In terms of intention to use, the alliance was formed in response to the 1998 ethnic riots in Jakarta, Indonesia, in which Indonesian citizens unfairly blamed their ethnic Chinese community for the country's financial troubles. In retaliation, the Chinese citizens formed the Red Hacker Alliance, sending email bombs to Indonesian government websites and mailboxes and conducting denial of service attacks against Indonesian domestic sites. The Red Hacker Alliance, or RHA for short, is an independent confederation of patriotic youth dedicated to defending China from perceived threats to national dignity. It figures heavily into China's strategic calculations and is actively used in terms of conflict and peace. From a Western perspective, the idea of active espionage against another nation requires government initiative, involvement, and direction. However, the Chinese believe in the idea of a people's war, in which the entire population is mobilized to struggle on behalf of the nation. This implies the alliance is not associated with the official intelligence structure in any capacity. Furthermore, being a civilian organization will in no way limit their participation in striking out at the enemies of China, which will allow them to take the lead in launching preemptive or retaliatory assaults. In terms of user satisfaction, the Chinese hackers were able to strike back and attack the people who hurt the Chinese people in Indonesia. So for them, they were very satisfied of what they did because, in their views, they were able to defend their brothers and sisters who were wrongly abused by the Indonesian riots and the Indonesian government. Not only that, it became a platform for a great number of Chinese hackers where they gather and defend China from different attacks when needed, and the numbers only increased because the results for them was successful. For the system's net benefits, though the Chinese government is well aware of the possible downside this group represents and the inherent dangers of their involvement, it sees RHA as an asset that can receive valuable information with thousands of hackers working around the clock to fill up the space of a composite intelligence picture. The RHA also provides the government with plausible deniability, as it is a civilian organization of overzealous youth and not of the government. In order to produce proof that the Chinese government ordered these attacks, the U.S. would have to reveal specific incidents and explain the techniques that led to those conclusions, revealing U.S. operational capabilities in intrusion detection, backtracking, and identifying attacking points of origin.
This cyber warfare had two impacts. The positive impact of this cyber attack is when a lot of people in Indonesia denied that they were anti-Chinese riots or that they were targeted in any ways. The Chinese hackers were able to expose the injustice that the Chinese immigrants were suffering on a daily basis. By striking and hacking their systems, they were able to change the Indonesian government approach towards these people's basic human rights. Not only that, but they also exposed them to the world, which means that they are more cautious towards how they treat the Chinese immigrants now. So the Chinese hackers were able to protect their brothers and sisters in foreign countries. They also sent messages to other countries, and now the other nations will be careful towards the Chinese people because they saw the impact that this cyber warfare had on the country that was unjust towards them.
The negative impact on the Indonesian government is when Chinese hackers disrupted the flow of their services and got their website blackened for hours. This didn't only affect the government, it affected the people because doctors were not able to access patients' data from their servers. Police information was also blocked and other governmental data, so it impacted the people's lives for that day. However, the war continued in where the Chinese struck again after 3 months in Indonesia's National Day. They paralyzed the entire Indonesian systems with massive incoming emails and replaced every website with pictures of mutilated bodies and rape victims that were affected during these riots for 30 straight hours. The attack was so strong, well organized, and highly coordinated that led the Indonesian government to believe that this is not an act of volunteers. They believed that the Chinese government was sponsoring these attacks, which caused great tension between the two governments, as it now an act of an official front and not individuals. The main reason behind this cyber attack is the injustice that some individuals suffered during these riots. So in order to avoid this in the future, governments need to give people equal rights and try to eliminate racism or minimize it in the community. because racism escalated toward the Chinese with great hate, which affected the country's economic stability and political state since the majority of the shop owners were Chinese. Whatever their decision be, we recommend the Chinese government think about who and what they wish to support for social good and foreign relations.